provides information concerning all activities of the judiciary during the financial year 2022-23. The strategic objectives, interventions, outputs, indicators, and associated targets set out in the Judiciary Strategic Plan 5, which runs from financial year 2020-21 to financial year 2024-25. These are used as the frameworks for analysis of our performance. The 7 imperative strategic objectives are as follows. A, enhancing equitable access to judiciary services. B, improving court processes and case management. C, strengthening the use of information and communication technology in the administration of justice. D, developing and supporting the judiciary workforce and institutional capacity. E, improving coordination, partnerships, and accountability. F, improving public awareness and the image of the judiciary. And G, enhancing resource mobilization and management. This report also provides comparison of performance with previous financial years for some areas. Financial performance. Government of Uganda funding. Over the last 3 financial years, the judiciary received an increment in its budget allocation from 199 billion Uganda shillings in financial year 2020-21 to 376.9 billion for the financial year 2021-22 and to 381.6 billion for the financial year 2022-2023. To some of you, it sounds huge. It is a pittance if you compare with the other arm of government, Parliament, whose budget is 800 billion. I don't think you can compare, you just contrast. So it is this 381 billion for the financial year 2022-2023 that we are giving accountability. During the budget execution, the supplementary budget of Uganda shillings 1.6 billion was received, leading to a revised budget of 383.2 billion. The judiciary also received a cumulative release of 7.7 billion from development partners, many of whom are with here today and on whom we hold in the highest regard, to support key activities of interest such as GBV sessions, capacity building, ADR, and court open days, among others. The development partners who have supported us in this drive include, because it is not limited, but include the European Union, IDLO, UNFPA, World Bank, Natural Resources Conservation, Human Trafficking Institute, Hope for Justice, Austrian Development Agency, UN Women and Green Watch, and others. The judiciary family is profusely grateful for your continued support to the cause of justice. Enhancing human capital development, recruitment. In line with our transformation agenda and supported by the increase in funding, the judiciary was able to enhance its human resource capacity as shown in the table A below. You'll find the tabulation when you get a copy of the report. You can see, for example, in 2021 and 2022, we recruited 288 judicial officers, 118 administrative staff. bringing a total of 406. For the year 2022-23, the recruitment was 122 judicial officers and 215 administrative staff, total coming to 337. Mentioned in the table, we recruited in the judiciary a total of 743 judicial staff and non-judicial staff combined. In the financial year under consideration, we made those recruitments, but we were also happy to receive new recruits in the Supreme Court. We had 3 justices who are named in the report. Justice Izama Madrama, Christopher, Justice Elizabeth Musoke, and Justice Stephen Musota. These have revamped the Supreme Court, and they started work in the past financial year and continue to make the Supreme Court felt. Now, the judicial officer to population ratio is given in the table report. This is still a very huge area, because a judicial officer in 2020, the ratio of a single judicial officer to the population was 1 to 114,362. So in your mind, put it that each one judicial officer was looking after the justice interest of 114,362. In year 2022, because of enhanced recruitment and deployment around the country, this figure came down from 114,000 to 81,000. Because of further recruitment, and deployment, for the year 2023, this has come down to 70,000 per judicial officer. This is still, of course, meaningless. One person to look after the interests of 70,000 persons. But there is a clear decline in the number of people a judicial officer is attached to as to where. The judiciary continues to conduct trainings to enhance the capacity of judicial officers to handle cases in key emerging areas. The trainings conducted during the financial year under consideration mainly targeted adjudication of communication-related offenses, information technology and tax systems, asset recovery, trafficking in persons, survivor support and management of victims of GBV cases, cybercrime and electronic evidence, disability rights, amendments in the Electricity Regulatory Act, insolvency law, and climate. As a result of the improved capacity of the judiciary, the following achievements were registered. The judiciary has experienced steady growth in the number of completed cases, up to 266,323 cases in financial year 2022/23, which is under consideration, from 205,000, which was the case in 2021/22, the year just before that, and then 156,875 in the financial year 2020/21. So there's a steady increment in disposal of cases. A disposal rate of 63.01% in financial year 2022/23 was achieved, as compared to 55% in the previous financial year and 49% in the year preceding the previous financial year. As a result, it is tabulated. There's a graph which shows how this has been done. As a result of the improvement in the disposal of cases, the average time taken in days, measured in days, from filing to disposal of cases has also reduced. The courts completed cases faster by 3 weeks in financial year 2022/23 as opposed to previous years. That sounds ridiculous, that we should mention. We completed cases faster by 3 weeks. Yes, but even a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Now we've made 3 steps. So we're headed for there, and we're confident we'll reach there. Because of this good performance, the percentage of court users rating confidence in courts has increased from 61% to 71%, according to a survey done by Avocats Sans Frontières, Advocates Without Borders. The reference is given in the report, the 2023 report. It is headed A Survey of Knowledge, Attitudes and Practices on Pretrial Detention. Honorable Minister, to my knowledge here, prisoners don't pay to board a truck to come to court. Thanks to our justice system, that when it is their time, they are brought. When they are tried, they are either acquitted and they go home, or convicted and given punitive sentences. Case disposal by court level. The judiciary completed a total of 266,323 out of a total caseload of 422,672. The case load comprised 128 cases brought forward from the previous financial year, and 294,020 of the freshly registered cases in the financial year under consideration. The highest number of cases registered and completed were recorded at the Chief Magistrates' Courts. This can be partly attributed to the increased staffing levels at the Chief Magistrates' Courts. The magisterial courts are the base of the judiciary pyramid. It is the largest population of judicial officers, and then it narrows and comes to the tip of the pyramid when you come to the Supreme Court. So understandably, in terms of numbers, they've made overwhelmingly impressive contribution. In the last financial years, 2021/21, 20/21 to 22/23, more chief magistrates were recruited and deployed, bringing the total number to 92 chief magistrates as of June 2023, as compared to only 67 chief magistrates in the year 2021. From 61, we have leaped to 92. That is a meaningful, and no wonder the performance is noticeable. Case disposal by case profile. Criminal cases were the most registered cases and also the most completed. The rise of criminal cases can be attributed to population growth and urbanization, which set challenges for unemployment and survival instincts, giving rise to a higher crime rate. On the other hand, international crimes were the least registered and completed, and all this has been tabulated. Case backlog management. Overall, courts closed with a pending caseload of 156,349 cases, of which 42,960 were backlog. This accounted for 27%, 27.48% of cases as backlog from 32% in financial year 2020/21, which translates into a 4.52% reduction in backlog. The age of the uncompleted cases in the courts has declined over the last 3 financial years, with only 14.25% of uncompleted cases aging 5 years and older. As at the end of June 2023, compared to 16% as of the end of June 2022. This is interesting. Cases are filed. It used to take 7 years, 8, some 10 years. We have meaningfully, owing to the expanded personnel, judicial personnel, we have meaningfully reduced this. Now, cases which are 5 years or older are a very small percentage. Soon we'll come to a 1-digit figure. That would be very good. Again, there is tabulation for you to go through, and it speaks for itself. Performance in case disposal has contributed to the reduction in case backlog. This has been achieved through various initiatives put in place to speed up the completion of cases. These initiatives or innovations include plea bargaining, where an accused person is afforded the opportunity not to waste court's time or their own time, and they own up for what they've done. So a total of 2,857 cases were completed through the plea bargain process in the financial year under consideration. 1,160 cases were completed through the day-to-day hearing of cases, and 1,697 cases through plea bargaining camps. Camps are when you have specific interventions as opposed to the plea bargain done during the regular or normal court sittings. Now, this reflects 88.12% clearance rate with the average lead time of less than 1 day. You have all these thousands of cases are disposed of in 1 day, as opposed to cases where you have to look for funds, witnesses have got to be brought, testimonies, examinations, then judgment is delivered. So this is gone up and continues. Mediation. During the financial year under consideration, a total of 1,250 cases were mediated to conclusion out of 2,210 cases enrolled under the mediation scheme. Monitoring and evaluation of case backlog. The Case Backlog Reduction Committee, chaired by the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice, was able to interact with various heads and deputy heads of High Court, divisions and circuits to establish inter alia the true causes of case backlog and workable interventions that can help curb the pandemic of case backlog. These interventions have helped the judiciary to implement tailor-made solutions against case backlog with commendable success. I hope you note that for us we refer to case backlog as a pandemic. It is a term on the side of justice administration. It is one of the ills that we do everything possible to get rid of. It is not peculiar to Uganda, it is universal. When I was being told of case backlog in India, many times bigger than the population of Uganda, I was wondering how do they manage, but here we are. Daily hearing of cases under criminal division. The judiciary came up with the idea of changing from criminal session system to daily hearings of criminal cases, and the criminal division being central to the criminal justice at high court level was selected to develop and pilot the concept in October 2021. Over time, the pilot project has registered quicker disposal of cases at the criminal division. Before the shifting from the session system in 2021, the division case load went as far back as 2016. Following the commencement of the pilot project, the division was able to complete all the cases committed to it in 2019 and was set to begin on those committed in 2020. The reduction in the average lead times was by 250 days from the 863 days recorded in the 7 months prior to the start of the pilot project to 613 days recorded in the last 7 months of the financial year 2022/23 under the pilot project. Special sessions on gender-based violence, GBV, related cases. With support from UNFPA, the judiciary organized gender-based violence criminal sessions at Tororo, Kamuli, Kamwenge, Nebi, and Busheni, as well as the Chief Magistrates Court of Pade and Kayonga. These courts disposed of 319 cases out of the 359 cases courts listed, thereby recording a clearance rate of 88.86%. This is marvelous. Juvenile criminal sessions. The judiciary conducted 4 juvenile criminal sessions at Naguru Remand Home, completing an average of 20 cases per sitting. As we speak, there are no backlog cases at the Naguru Remand Home. Enhancing access to justice, operationalization of 6 high court circuits. During the financial year, significant efforts were made to improve access to justice services and combat case backlog in Uganda by operationalizing 6 high court circuits, which had been non-operational since their establishment in 2016. The 6 new high court circuits are Luwero in central, Iganga in east, Tororo in east, Rukungiri in southwest, Moroto in northeast, and Hoima in central west. These were officially launched, bringing the total number of high court circuits to 20. The importance of these new circuits in enhancing access to justice for residents in these regions was stressed during the launch. The judiciary promises transparent, fair, and efficient legal process that guarantees trust and confidence in the judicial system. The judicature, open bracket, high court circuits, close bracket, instrument 2016 is under review with the aim of creating additional high court circuits to enhance service proximity and alleviate the burden of case backlog, strengthening the legal and regulatory framework. The judiciary continued its efforts towards strengthening its legal and regulatory framework provided under Chapter 8 of the Constitution of Uganda. The focus was on first tracking the operationalization of the AJA, Administration of Judiciary Act, and reviewing rules and practice directions to strengthen the independence of the judiciary and improve access to justice and public trust in judiciary services. Reviewed to enhance efficiency in the administration of justice and delivery of judiciary service. A. The Judicature within bracket Amendment Bill 2023, the Judicature Court Fees Rules 2023, the Magistrates Courts Amendment Bill 2023, the Judicature Supreme Court Amendment Rules 2023, the Judicature Court of Appeal Amendment Rules 2023, the Judicature Cases of Persons with Disability Rules 2023, the Judicature Management of Exhibits Practice Direction 2023, the Judicature Electronic Filing Service and Virtual Proceedings Rules 2023, the Administration of the Judiciary Judicial Training Institute Regulations 2023, the Administration of the Judiciary Judiciary Service Regulations 2023, the Constitution, High Court Environment and Infrastructure Division Practice Directions 2023. Creation of magisterial areas and high court circuits. In line with the judiciary transformation agenda, the magisterial areas instrument is being revised to inter alia establish a chief magistrate court for every district in Uganda and at least one magistrate grade 1 court for each county constituency. This effort is geared towards enhancing access to justice, to court services across the country by reducing distances to the courts and consequently cutting down the cost of justice and unwarranted case backlog. The Magistrates Courts, Magisterial Areas and Magistrates Courts Instrument 2023 was approved by the Judiciary Council for gazetting at the meeting of 28th September 2023. Creation of more High Court circuits. The Judiciary embarked on an exercise to increase the coverage and proximity of High Court circuits across the country for effective operations and delivery of justice to the people of Uganda. A task force was constituted in February 2023, which commenced consultations in selected regions and districts, focusing on various parameters including distance, caseload, availability of basic facilities, population, proximity with other justice institutions, and availability of land. Accordingly, the Judicature Designation of High Court Circuits Instrument 2023 was reviewed and approved by the Judiciary Council for gazetting at its meeting of 28 September 2023. Enhancing pecuniary jurisdiction of magisterial courts. The pecuniary jurisdiction of chief magistrates is limited to civil suits whose value does not exceed 50 million shillings, while magistrates grade 1 are limited to suits not exceeding 20 million shillings. Considering the high inflationary levels, the population growth and the increasing growth in the economy, the magistrates have very few cases they can handle, which has increased backlog at the High Court level. The Judiciary constituted a task force to conduct a study on proposals for enhancement of the jurisdiction for magistrates grade 1 magistrates courts to further justify the need for the revision. The team reviewed the Magistrates Courts Act, Chapter 16, in light of the reasons for establishment of the jurisdiction. It also undertook a nationwide statistical analysis of cases before the High Court, circuits, and magistrates courts to establish the impact of the amendment on the number of cases that would move from the High Court to the magistrates courts. The findings were adopted by the Law Reform Committee, and the process of amendment is being managed by the Office of the Attorney. Improved court infrastructure. With support from the government of Uganda, the Judiciary was able to construct and maintain some of its buildings. Significant progress in financial year 2022/23 as follows. The Supreme Court and Court of Appeal buildings are in their final stages, nearing completion. That's the building just behind you here. Soroti High Court is at second floor walling. Rokungiri High Court is at the plastering stage. Tororo High Court is pending approval from the Solicitor General. Aleptong Chief Magistrate's Court is at the roofing and finishing stage. Liantonde Chief Magistrate's Court is at the plastering and fitting of windows stage. Budaka Chief Magistrate's Court is at the painting stage, tiling and external works. Abim Grade 1 Court Block A is at the roofing stage, while Block B is at the substructure level. Karenga Grade 1 Court is at the roofing stage. Patongo is at the finishing stage with painting and tiling works ongoing. The rehabilitation of Nabilato Grade 1 Court is ongoing and painting stage. And the extension of Moroto Chief Magistrate's Court is at painting stage. Renovations of court building were carried out and completed in the following courts: Tororo Chief Magistrate's Court, Soroti Chief Magistrate's Court, Kamuli Chief Magistrate's Court, Otuke Grade 1, Kalongo Grade 1, Nakawa Chief Magistrate's Court, Gulu High Court and Chief Magistrate's Court, Mbale High Court and Chief Magistrate's Courts, Pade Chief Magistrate's Court, Katakwi Chief Magistrate's Court, and Kamashu Court. The renovations were also intended to put in place facilities that enable easy access to the courts by persons with disability. The judiciary will continue to mobilize resources to make sure that the courts are maintained in good condition. The proportion of districts with a complete administration of judicial service delivery point improved from 79.5% in financial year 2021/22 to 85.25% in the financial year under consideration. With these expansions, we have been able to reduce the distance to courts. For example, from Karamoja region that used to be handled at Soroti High Court are now handled by Moroto High Court. In addition, plans are underway to have regional courts of appeal so that appeal cases from high courts are resolved at the regional level. This will reduce the cost of accessing justice, as the administration of justice programs fraternity. We will ensure that institutions under the program like ODPP, Uganda Police, Uganda Prisons, legal aid service providers like legal aid clinics and justice centers, Uganda, are supported to expand their services so that cases are expeditiously handled. Provision of more transport equipment. The judiciary maintains a fleet of 345 vehicles and 138 motorcycles. Furthermore, a total of 47 vehicles were procured for justices of the Supreme Court, a justice of the Court of Appeal, High Court judges, deputy stroke assistant registrars, and then 4 vehicles were earmarked for locals and poor visits and field supervision. In addition, 52 motorcycles were procured to facilitate process service at courts. The judiciary is in the process of acquiring a marine boat to operate on the islands of Kalangala and Buvuma. At the close of the financial year, a 30% partial payment had been made to commence construction of the marine boat, the delivery of which was expected in financial year 2023-2024. Promotion of equal opportunities to reduce vulnerability. The judiciary embarked on special programs that promote equal opportunities to reduce vulnerability. So far, we have created children and victim-friendly rooms in 9 courts, and we have plans to scale up the same and other interventions, such as having in place adequate sign language interpreters in courts and access to braille services for people, litigants with a special need. Use of ICT in the administration of justice. The judiciary continued to invest in automation of court processes to improve efficiency and effectiveness in the business process. The Electronic Court Case Management Information System, ECMIS. During the financial year 2022-23, the ECMIS was successfully rolled out to the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court, Divisions of Anti-Corruption, Land, Civil, and Commercial, Luero High Court, Circuit, and Mengus Chief Magistrates Court. The ECMIS streamlined court processes, automating the entire case life cycle from e-filing to e-archival, and demonstrated the judiciary's commitment to improve efficiency and access to judiciary service through use of modern technology. The noted achievements of ECMIS have so far been: 1. Increased case registration stroke filing. 2. Increased case clearance rate. 3. Increased non-tax revenue. Uganda shillings 400 million was collected through ECMIS in March 2023 as compared to only 80 million collected in March 2022 when ECMIS had just been rolled out. Increased use of e-payment for court case fees. The use of ECMIS has reduced payment of court fees by cash and increased use of mobile money and point of sale modes. Increased enrollment of more ECMIS users. The number of current ECMIS user accounts has increased from 4,477 in March 2022 to 13,384 users in June 2023. Rollout of more video conferencing systems. During the financial year, the judiciary installed 2 sets of video conferencing systems which significantly improved the ability to conduct online hearings of cases, especially in areas affected by insecurity. They were installed at the Court of Appeal, Constitutional Court, as well as the High Court Criminal Division. Video conferencing technology allows for remote participation in court proceedings, enabling witnesses, legal representatives, and even judges to join hearings virtually from different locations. It is particularly valuable in areas where physical attendance in court may be challenging due to security concerns or other logistical reasons. The implementation of video conferencing systems has helped promote access to justice and the evidence and the efficient handling of cases despite the challenges posed by insecurity in certain regions. Procurement of digital court recordings and transcription systems. 5 sets of court recording and transcription systems were procured and installed in selected courts to improve operations, enhance efficiency, transparency, and accountability in court proceedings across various stakeholders. Systems were strategically deployed at the Supreme Court, the Second Courtroom, and the High Court circuits of Tororo, Luero, Hoima, Moroto, and Iganda. The systems play a crucial role in accurately capturing and preserving court proceedings, ensuring a reliable record of discussions, testimonies, and legal arguments. Revamping the Uganda Legal Information Institute, ULI. The Ugandan Legal Information Institute, ULI, was made more user-friendly, catalogued, and organized with improvements in case collection and digitization of the reading materials received at the Documentation Center. ULI is the judiciary's fully fledged law reporting and documentation department that manages law reporting on Uganda case law. Legislation, gazettes, statutory instruments, ordinances, and bills. On average, the main site, which has been undergoing migration since 2023, received 261 users per minute. Enhanced stakeholder engagements. Excellent performance by the Administration of Justice program. The Administration of Justice program comprises of the Judiciary, Judicial Service Commission, Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Uganda Prison Service, Uganda Police, Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, Law Development Centers, and Tax Appeal Tribunal. The program prepared and submitted the program annual performance report financial year 2022/23 to Office of the Prime Minister, National Planning Authority, and Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. During the recent National Annual Performance Assessment by the Office of the Prime Minister, the Administration of Justice program emerged the overall best in creating impact using the available resources during the financial year 2022/23. The program outcomes performance was rated at 75%. This is what the Honorable Minister spoke about a few minutes ago. The Judiciary, as the lead program institution, will continue to coordinate program activities through the program structures of the Technical Working Group, the Program Working Group, and the Leadership Committee. Engagement with development partners and justice delivery stakeholders. The Judiciary also engaged international agencies to agree on avenues for funding and access to justice innovations within the Judiciary. The Judiciary top management met the United Nations Country Team, UNCT, on 18th January 2023 and agreed on funding opportunities under the new Administration of Justice program. The agencies and development partners which agreed to further support the Judiciary include the following: the Austrian Development Agency, the International Development Law Organization, IDLO, the Hague Institute for International Law, HIL, the Pepperdine University, the UN Women, UNICEF, UNFPA, UNODC, among others. The Judiciary will continue to work closely with the development partners to strengthen coordination and implementation of interventions within the Administration of Justice program, harnessing regional and international engagements. The Judiciary actively engaged in various regional and international events, fostering valuable collaborations and exchanging insights on justice-related matters. These included high-level meetings of Chief Justices, judicial officers, and administrators at the East African, and Commonwealth membership levels. The Judiciary successfully hosted the second annual East African Judicial Conference from 25th to 28th October 2022 and the 17th International Association of Women Judges Conference from 26th to 29th of October 2022. We were honored during these conferences to host the Honorable Chief Justices of Kenya, South Sudan, Burundi, and Somalia, as well as the President of the East African Court of Justice, among others. Those who organized and participated in these conferences for a job well done. The East African Magistrates and Judges Conference held in Kigali, Rwanda in November 2022 chose Uganda to host the 2023 conference from 5th to 8th December 2023. The conference preparations are already in high gear. Public awareness and sensitization. The judiciary scaled up public interactive engagements and awareness through court open days, community barajas. Barajas is the local term for assembly, and media engagements, in addition to extending its physical presence in various places. The judiciary also intensified inspections, addressed complaints, and offered feedback to the public to improve the quality of justice services. All the members of the judiciary top management were personally involved in the various court open days and deliberately interacting with court users in different districts. From the reports I have received, I can confidently say that the public have gained better trust in the judiciary services than ever before. We are therefore committed to continuously addressing emerging challenges that affect service delivery. General challenges encountered. Closure of premises housing the Supreme Court. Due to a series of events that threatened both life and property, I took drastic measures on the 30th of May 2022 and advised the Supreme Court to relocate from the rented premises at Kololo that had been classified as not fit for human habitation until repairs could be made. Unfortunately, for more than half a year, the landlord was not able to correct the wrongs, and as a result, the Supreme Court was relocated to Bluedale Road, Wandegea, pending completion of the Supreme Court house just behind you here. We regret any inconveniences caused by the decision, because for a long time the Supreme Court was not able to sit, and this had a huge effect on service delivery. Increasing caseload. While commendable efforts have been made to deal with the case backlog, the number of newly registered cases have consistently increased with each passing year. For the financial year 2022-23, the newly registered cases across the courts increased from 229,375 recorded in the financial year 2021/22 to 294,020 cases, indicating an increase of 64,645 cases. This calls for strategic interventions to deal with this growing caseload in order to quench the immense thirst for justice services across the country. Inadequacies among some of the key justice agencies. The other justice service agencies, such as the ODPP, the Uganda Police Force, the Judicial Service Commission, and the Office of the Attorney General, among others, suffer gross human resource deficiencies and lack sufficient tools for their workforce. This has inevitably frustrated justice services delivery and made it difficult to banish case backlog in courts. We have also noted growing case backlog at the industrial court, which needs to be addressed urgently. There is need for an additional 3 judges at the industrial court to be able to clear the backlog, which stood at 69.7% by the end of June 2023. Inadequate remand homes across the country. The glaring absence of remand homes in most districts in Uganda has led to delays in disposal of juvenile cases and inevitable breach of the well-intentioned provisions of the Children Act and other laws. The high transport cost of taking juvenile offenders to the courts have inevitably caused congestion in the remand homes and exacerbated delays in case trial. Priority for financial year 2023-24. Reforms in the law. We plan for more reforms in the laws in the following areas. Amend the Magistrates Courts Act to ensure to enhance the civil jurisdiction of magistrates' courts so that they are empowered to handle disputes of an enhanced value consistent with the current economic trends and inflationary levels in the country. This will help fight case backlog and delays in delivery of justice. Revise the magisterial areas instrument of 2017 to establish Chief Magistrate Court at every district and Magistrate Grade 1 courts at every county constituency in Uganda in order to bring judicial services nearer to the people. Review the High Court Circuits Instrument 2016 to increase the number of High Court circuits across the regions. This will give rise to the creation of 10 new High Court circuits at Nebi, Kitgum, Apache, Kumi, Rakai, Ushenyi, Kasese, Kitgum, Chiboga, Palisa, and other deserving places. In order to alleviate the severe inhibitions to access to High Court services in those areas, promoting of alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. The Judiciary of Uganda hosted the first ever ADR Summit from 26th to 27th June this year. The objective of the summit was to share experiences, best practices, and build consensus on re-engineering the ADR agenda in the administration of justice in Uganda. The Judiciary has also engaged a team of highly dedicated retired justices and judges and some very senior advocates to support mediation services in the country. The Judiciary plans to enhance ADR intervention across the country through A. Rolling out small claims procedure to 36 magistrates' courts. B. Holding pre-bargaining sessions at the criminal division, 20 High Court circuits, and selected Chief Magistrates' courts. C. Promoting appellate mediation. And D. Training and accrediting of 160 mediators to support the application of mediation in dispute resolution. Construction of more court buildings. The Judiciary plans to complete Supreme Court and Court of Appeal buildings, complete construction of Soroti and Rukungiri High Court buildings, complete the construction of Aleptong, Budaka, and the Antonde Chief Magistrates Court buildings, complete the construction of Abim, Patongo, and Karenga Magistrates Grade 1 Court buildings, start the construction of Tororo High Court building, phase 1. Renovation of more court buildings. The Judiciary plans to renovate 3 High Court circuits of Mbarara, Fort Portal, and Jinja, 3 Chief Magistrates Court of Entebbe, Nabueru, and Kapchorwa, 4 Magistrates Grade 1 courts, that's Amoro, Aduku, Ngora, and Apala. Procurement of more transport equipment. In an effort to improve security for judicial officers and facilitate locus visits and inspections, the Judiciary plans to acquire vehicles for specified officers, justices and judges, registrars and magistrates as follows. A. 60 vehicles will be procured for judicial officers, that is justices of the Supreme Court, 3 judges of the High Court, 20 registrars, 4 chief magistrates, 16 and magistrates, grade 1, 17, for field supervision. 1 minibus 14-seater will be required for cross-cutting services. 1 boat will be procured for courts in island areas of Buvuma and Kalangala, and 85 motorcycles will be procured for process service. automation of courts. The judiciary will continue to foster the use of ICT in adjudication of cases. Specifically, this will be done through rolling out ECMIS to cluster 2 courts, Criminal Division, International Crimes Division, Buganda Road Chief Magistrates Court, and Standards, Utilities, and Wildlife Chief Magistrates Court. Rolling out ECMIS to additional 6 courts of Jinja High Court, Jinja Chief Magistrates Court, Kamuli Chief Magistrate, Bugembe Magistrates Grade 1 Court, Kakera Magistrate Grade 1 Court, and Kagoma Magistrate Grade 1 Court. Digitization of court files for 2 ECMIS court stations, Supreme Court and Court of Appeal. Development of the judiciary judgment writing tool. Provisions of alternative sources of power for courts. Courts in remote areas face frequent load shedding, which interrupts court operations and ultimately affects the quality of service delivery. The judiciary will procure and install solar systems in 10 courts of Kiruhura, Botambala, Budaka, Patongo, Pade, Mayuge, Karenga, Kiriandongo, Nabila Tuk, and Napak to alleviate the power shortage. Provision of furniture for courts. Some magistrates' courts lack sufficient furniture in the court halls, which has forced them to borrow furniture from local government councils to operate. The judiciary plans to procure more furniture for 12 new justices, 27 courts, and Judicial Training Institute. Acquisition of land for construction of courts. The judiciary plans to process and acquire 40 land titles in areas earmarked for construction of court buildings across the country. Let me point out here that the enthusiasm people have, the local governments especially, have received our expanded court buildings, court locations, has been measured by the willingness to offer land to the judiciary as a contribution by the local government. We really need to appreciate this. The local governments have everywhere. Kabale is one of the, say, Kigezi sub-region is one of the most densely populated countryside. Where land is the biggest issue, but Kabale was able to give the judiciary more than 10 acres of land to put up our infrastructure. This is amazing. That speaks a lot about people's quest and desire to have the justice system, the operations of justice. Establishment of the performance management system. Section 18 of the Administration of Judiciary Act 2020 provides for the establishment of a performance management system within the judiciary to ensure institutional and individual accountability. The judiciary will complete the development of a case weighting scheme whose primary goal is to develop a valid measure of judicial work across the courts in Uganda by taking into account variations in complexity among different case types as well as the differences in non-case related responsibilities of justices, judges, registrars, and magistrates. Development and implementation of the judgment writing tool. The judiciary has embarked on developing a judgment writing tool that will have access to the different laws and authorities with a designed, easy-to-use template. It is expected to contribute to the efficient and effective reduction of case backlog by lessening the time it will take judicial officers to write their judgments and rulings. This would have direct impacts on case disposal, contribute immeasurably to ensuring the reduction and ultimate annihilation of case backlog. Conclusion. As we present this report, acknowledge areas for improvement and renew our commitment to serving the public with integrity. It is our service with integrity that will ensure that the people of and in this country access justice. It is not the siting of court buildings everywhere that by in itself would afford access to justice. It is the diligence, the commitment, and the conscientious performance of judicial officers that will ensure that our people let us embrace the opportunities presented to us and continue to adapt to the evolving needs of our people. Let me extend my appreciation to the judiciary's stakeholders, including the executive and legislative arms of government, the legal fraternity, the administration of justice program institutions, development partners, non-state actors, civil society organizations, the academia and the media for their unwavering support and collaboration with the Judiciary of Uganda. Together, we shall continue to work towards enhancing access to justice for our people. That is our clarion call. I further convey my gratitude to the leadership of the Judiciary and the Judiciary Council for your support and cooperation throughout the financial year. I specifically want to thank the Deputy Chief Justice, the Principal Judge, the Justices of the Supreme Court and Courts of Appeal, the Judges of the High Court, the Permanent Secretary who is Secretary to the Judiciary, the Chief Registrar, the Registrars and Heads of Departments, the Magistrates and all the staff of the Judiciary for your individual and concerted efforts that has accounted for this performance which I have accounted for to the people of Uganda today. Finally, I thank you all who have joined us today to celebrate this worthwhile milestone. May the good Lord bless all of us abundantly. Thank you for listening to me.
2-1-0. Thank you very much. So the Honorable Chief Justice is going to sign.